right up the road. And
I don't want to sit.
so when I was a young 15-year-old kid with a broken wrist, I was right down the road there, and the anarchists picked up this fence and they chased the police up the street here. And I stood on a bench over there and saw tear gas for the first time in my life, and something happened in my mind. And I've come back to this park a couple of times since then for World Bank IMF protests, and it's pretty wild, but not much has changed on their international end. The IMF was just pretty involved in advising Burma to cut fuel subsidies, and you might have heard about that in the newspaper. And they're involved in restructuring Iraq's economy. They actually redesigned Iraq's economy. So these people are still playing hardball, and so it's really important that we keep up pressure. This is just about some of the issues. They're cutting your wages down, putting you deeper in the hole, in the long race down to the bottom, on the fast track for control. They're marketing the water, getting profits from the sink, privatizing basic needs, now you can't afford a drink. This isn't trade, this is slavery, subsidizing wealth with poverty. The land apart, loading forests into trains, justifying long-term devastation with short-term gains. They're jacking medicine prices with the pharmacies stacked. They're patenting local plants and making people buy them back. This isn't trade, this is slavery, subsidizing wealth with poverty. This isn't trade, this is slavery, subsidizing wealth with poverty. You can sing along to that part if you're feeling it. And they're making people servants, locking them in debt, stealing their resources with military threats. Well, they'll buy and sell this whole world with the dollars they possess. By the time they finish profiting, there won't be nothing left. This isn't trade, this is slavery, subsidizing wealth with poverty. And there ain't no end to this bloody chain of poverty and debt. Well, they call it free trade, I call it legal theft. Manifest destiny, the invisible fist of greed, searching for open markets to plant the poison seed. This isn't trade, this is slavery, subsidizing wealth with poverty. This isn't trade, this is slavery, subsidizing wealth with poverty, subsidizing wealth with poverty. So, yeah, it's important that we note that no poor person is responsible for being poor. Wealthy people are responsible for poverty. All over the world, and right here. Because poverty is a system. There were prison laborers sweeping up my neighborhood this morning, and I was thinking about slavery. And I was thinking about labor organizing and how prison labor needs to be the next frontier of labor organizing. So I'm involved with a group called the United Workers Association. Who knows about the United Workers? So we're up in Baltimore, and it's day laborers who clean up the baseball stadium. A lot of homeless workers, and it's a song I wrote for them about 5 days before we won a living wage at Camden Yards. So they're going to be making $11.30 an hour now, up from $7. That's pretty cool. If I remember how it starts. Can you hear me? It just got quieter. I wasn't sure. Okay, cool. Early in the morning, the job's begun. Job number 2 comes at 1:45. Take the bus down and wait in the hot sun. You'll be feeling tired from the morning. 2 hours turns the clock, waiting in line at the auction block. Economic systems got you locked, got you waking too early in the morning. Paycheck comes and it's nothing new. You work 6 hours, got paid for 2. You buy a cheap dinner for your kids and you, and you'll spend it all by the morning. Settling now for minimum wage, waiting for the day when you turn the page. It's bound to happen one of these days, it'll bring a brand new morning. You're gonna build power with your working hands, organize and make demands. If they refuse, you're gonna take a stand, and they're gonna feel it in the morning. And once that living wage is won, there'll be dignity and power in the stadium, and you'll keep organizing till it's worker run. You'll be glad to rise in the morning. Thanks. I sang that because like these big convergences like this like are can be the most inspiring events. And like, you know, when I was at A16 in 2000 in Quebec City and all these things, it blew my mind, and I was like, I need to do this forever. And then you know, slow periods hit because movements are waves, and I was down in one of those and I was like, man, fuck, this sucks. And then it all clicked, that it's that cycle, and that there's times where you peak and you're super powerful and you go out and you take what you can, and then there's times where you got to go back to the drawing board, you got to organize, and you got to talk to the first person you see about what's going on, and you have to educate, and we have to build so that we become powerful so we can peak again, right? So that's organizing, it's movement building, it's the most important thing. And the second most important thing is knowing what to do with your built movement. And no one knows this better, well, I'm sure many people do, but there's not many folks who know it better than the Zapatistas about building a movement and then peaking when the time is right, because they built for 15 years to produce what they produced, and they work about it every day. So this is a song about that. It's also about us. It's about if you're a dogmatic person, if you're a dogmatic anarchist or a dogmatic socialist or a dogmatic Green Party member, it's about opening that dogmatic mind to the different possibilities, right? So, and working with other people and not being afraid of what they might say that might offend you or might be different from what you think. And looking for new politics, because most of the stuff, like most of the beliefs I have failed in the past. Some of them have worked too, you know, so you always gotta open your mind to learn and change and stuff. There's a sing-along if you want. Walking by asking, we're making the road, reaping these seeds that our ancestors sowed. A global revolt set to explode, we're making the road as we go. As NAFTA was passed, we rose up with the sun. The old and the young had to pick up the gun. We put them down as soon as the fighting was done. We're making the road as we go. You know who I wish I had more guns? Are the people in Burma. I wish they had more guns, right? Walking by asking, we're making the road, reaping these seeds that our ancestors sowed. A global revolt set to explode, we're making the road as we go. Governed by obeying, we're opening ears, trying what's been tried for hundreds of years. Our hopes for a new world have beaten our fears. We're making the road as we go. Walking by asking, we're making the road, reaping these seeds that our ancestors sowed. A global revolt set to explode.